Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Relate Today podcast. I am Dr. Elyssa Wright.
And I'm Dana. And today we're going to talk about how to get through the doldrums of winter. Is that what they call it?
It sounds right. You guys should comment, let us know if we're right or wrong with the whole word of this thing.
Could be the total wrong phrase. It's what it feels like, though.
So, Dana, I know both of us grew up in the areas of lake effect snow.
Yeah. And it was lovely.
Yep. And for those of you that have never experienced lake effect snow, basically what happens is you go to bed one night and you wake up the next night and there's anywhere from 2 to 6 feet of snow that just magically deposited itself.
And you watch the news to see if your school is closed. And if it is, then you just go play outside with your siblings all day, and then you have hot chocolate, and it's the best ever.
Yep. And if you grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania, like myself, your school was never closed. FYI. I don't know how we always went.
Yeah, it was pretty much only if there's like 4+ feet of snow on the ground. Other than that, you're going to school.
Yeah. So what was your favorite part about growing up in an area with a ton of school and snow? Snow, the right S word there. Snow.
Yes, snow. So my favorite part, when we were kids and a ton of snow would fall, my dad would play outside with us, and he would get like a 5-gallon bucket. We would build these amazing igloos that we would play in all day and have like snowball fights. And then we would come inside, and Mom always had hot chocolate ready for us. But the igloos were so fun.
Yeah. And, I also made igloos, and you always hear that when they're done the right way, it's warm inside. Did you ever have that experience?
I honestly don't remember. I was probably just running around and sweating anyway. So I have no idea what it was like inside.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. My absolute go-to is we would always go sledding. And it was so much fun. There were a few golf courses where we would go, behind schools, basically like any hill anywhere that we could find. And those little round sleds that you could like spin out and get really fast.
Oh, yeah.
And we always got the wax to put on the bottom. Nice. So that way we could just go.
So fun. Yeah, we had a big toboggan with this big toboggan hill by us, and we would just pack up for the day and go have so much fun on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there's lots of positives to time in the snow. But I also have realized for myself that when it gets dark and dreary and gray, that I really, really need to focus on taking care of my mind and body to get to, spring when the sun comes out again.
Mm-hmm. It's so important to really take care of yourself and listen to what your body needs in the winter.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about some things to help nourish your mind and your body when maybe the outside isn't inspiring you like it does in the summer.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to take it away with
body first?
With body?
Absolutely. So big things in some cultures around the world is to eat with the seasons. And when it gets cold outside, it's really important to put warmth back into your body and nourish yourselves and, take the pressure off of your digestive system. So we're kind of in a mini hibernation, and eating things that are warm and soft and full of nutrients is a great way to go.
And nourishing for your soul too. Like winter makes me think of my mom's homemade chicken soup. And like today here in Colorado, it's snowing outside, and Alyssa's she's making sauce, and it just feels like home, and it's cozy, and like that's the soul food that you need in the winter.
Yep, absolutely. And some really easy things to go to are bone broths. When it comes to that chicken noodle soup, getting an organic chicken and using the meat for the meals, and then putting that into a crock pot and letting it just steep with some water. And we can put in the show notes my personal favorite recipe for bone broths, but you just kind of let it do its thing. And then you have all of those nutrients to put in another soup or to just drink in the morning instead of coffee.
Mm-hmm. And what I like to do is when I'm cutting up my vegetables, and if I have scraps from like celery or carrots or anything, I put it in a freezer bag until I'm ready to make bone broth, so that all of that is ready and available for me to use.
Super simple.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is to, really focus on finding those warm foods, roasted vegetables, potato leek soup. Basically, you want your food to just get a little bit soft to take some of the pressure off of your gut
Mm-hmm.
for your big nutritious meals of the day.
That's great. That's great. And being gentle on your body, like along with your digestive tract, being gentle on your whole body and doing it pretty guilt-free. Like in the summer, we're outside and we're moving and we're high energy. But in the winter, if you want to hunker down on the couch with a cup of tea or a cup of broth and a book, go for it. If that's what your body needs, just listen to it.
Yeah, it's a really good time to build that connection with what your body needs. And I know for me in the winter, I tend to go more towards yoga, Pilates, gentle movement versus high intensity stuff because I just don't have as much energy this time of year.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay. And that's just what your body needs.
Yep. And just remembering that we're mammals and this is our like mini version of hibernation.
Absolutely. So that's all for the body. And we'll get into the mind next. So speaking of exercise and what you need to do, make sure you're still exercising and still moving in the winter. And a good way to do that is just, you can go for a walk outside. I know it can be cold outside, but we have luxury of coats and hats and gloves, and we can bundle up and go for a walk outside, and you'll find that your spirits are lifted a little bit and you kind of become a kid, and maybe you throw a snowball at somebody that you're walking with, or you see the different birds that are out. There's no leaves on the trees. So I find that I can really like see the hawks that are out or see all of the birds that are sitting in there that you don't get to see in the spring and the summer. It's pretty cool.
Yep. And if you ever want to spend more time checking out those things, go for a walk with a friend that likes nature more than you do. And all of a sudden, you're going to see all of these things that you didn't know existed because you weren't paying attention before. So open up your eyeballs and look up instead of down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so much happening out there. And Elyssa knows that I'm guilty of just staring up at the sky, looking at the birds that are going by. And I've pointed them out to her and she's like, where? I can't. And now she's recognizing them. So yeah.
Yep. With that being said, it does remind me of a story of when Dana was looking up for the birds. I do say look up, but also be aware of your surroundings because she has looked up and wiped out on her rollerblades.
I know, right? I did. I was roller skating one morning before work, and there was this cute little white bird by a pond, and my wheels got stuck together, and I hit the ground so hard. My phone went flying. Somehow it didn't break. There was a guy walking behind me, and he was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I didn't see it, but I heard it." I'm like, "I'm okay. There's a cute bird. I got distracted."
So, proceed with caution when you're bird watching.
Meanwhile, there's blood dripping down my hand. It was a mess. Definitely good caution. Yes. Oh, Dana. All right. So the second one for me, to make sure that your mind is in the right place in the winter, is to have your coping mechanisms in place. And I have a list of them on my phone of like things that bring me joy and things that lift me up when I'm not feeling so great, or when my mind is getting a little squirrely, like what can bring me back into my body and back into my happy place. So I refer to that list of singing or dancing or roller skating if I can do it outside, or taking a bath, like anything that I can do to just get back into my body. Yeah, that list has been very valuable to me.
Yep. And sometimes that list is for me, I have my comfort TV shows that I go to. And if I'm really stressed and I need to completely check out, also throwing on a 20-minute, like, don't feel guilty about doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the third one for the mind is to have your support system. I know, like, growing up on the East Coast, it gets bad in the winter. But if you have a friend that you can call, maybe you can have a cup of tea, maybe you can go for a walk outside together. Having that person to just lift you up can change your entire day.
Yep, absolutely. community and sisterhood,
Mhm.
and that accountability and the check-in buddy is so important all the time, but especially this time of year, to have that friend you can reach out to and be like, hey, help.
Yep. And check in on your friends anyway,
Yeah.
see how they're doing. Maybe you just need to call and complain about the weather for a few minutes, and then you can lift each other up.
So, a few reminders to support your body. Think warm things. Think softer, already cooked a little bit things. And think about just being gentle with your movement, gentle with your body, and listening to what your system needs.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yep. And get outside, go for a walk. You'll never know uh, what you're missing out there unless you notice it. And have your coping mechanisms in place.
Yep.
Yeah.
And your friend ready.
Yep.
All right. Hopefully, this will help you get through some of the nitty gritty of winter. Check
Yes.
out the show notes for some recipes, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everyone.